with Big D and Bubba.
Oh, my goodness. Woo. It is Craig Morgan Day.
Let's go. Craig Morgan is here.
He is our guest this week. We're going to get deep, baby.
So much to talk about. We'll come right back with Craig Morgan in the studio on Honky Tonkin.
Craig Morgan is our guest this week. Good to see you, man.
Good to see y'all.
Love you.
I don't know if we have to say hi or salute nowadays. I don't know how this all works.
You're back in the...
No, we just say hi. Even if I were in uniform, y'all just say hi. You know?
Okay, yeah, sure. Hey,
if you're not in the military, you don't have to salute. So,
hey, talk to us about "Almost Home." I love the song, and it's 2003, I guess.
Yeah.
How did the song come about to you?
Wrote it.
Well, I know, but I mean, were you almost home and you're like, hey, I should write a song? I'm almost here.
Well, we talked about it. We didn't know if it was a death song or somebody was sleeping or a dream.
It kind of came, it evolved. I'll tell you that. I had the idea initially. I was on the road. My wife was complaining about me being gone so much. And I said, listen, just relax. It won't be long. I'm almost home. And I wrote that down. I thought, that's a great idea. So initial concept was, it's going to be being away and I'm coming back home. I'm almost home kind of deal. And this is a true story. Came across a homeless guy on downtown in Demumrian. They stand there on the corner with a sign. Mm-hmm. And he was like, we'll work for food. But prior to that, above it said pregnant, and it was scratched out. It's like he took someone else's sign. And I was telling Kerry Kurt, we were writing it, and then Kerry Kurt said, that old guy was almost home. And that's how it evolved into what it evolved into. And that's what we ended up writing.
Craig Morgan joining us this week on the show. Man, take us back to when John Conley on the stage at the Opry, and you find out that you're going to be a member.
So the invitation took place in Fort Bragg, North Carolina. I was doing a TV show called Back to Bragg. All of the unit guys, Delta Force, Special Forces, all these guys are hanging out and doing a private show for the military. And John Conley shows up and says, hey, what are you doing October, whatever? Uh-huh. And I said, man, I don't know. I look over at my manager, and he said, I think you're going to be on the Grand Ole Opry that night. And I'm like, oh, okay, yeah. My manager's like, yeah. And he said, how would you like to be performing that night as the newest member of the Grand Ole Opry? And I lost my crap, dude. I mean, cried like a little girl with pencils poked in my arm. I mean,
You're tearing up now. You're making me tear up. Stop it.
It got worse when I looked over. And all of these hardcores, I'm talking about guys that have killed more people than smallpox, guys that love taking out bad guys.
Right.
They're crying. And it was like, okay, so it's okay for me to cry,
too. Well,
this
was kind of a cool thing because they are part – I mean, you guys are all in the same club, the whole soft thing. And one of their own now is –
they were more proud than I was even.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's just – it was such a humbling experience. And then to be made a member on the stage. Yeah.
Craig Morgan is our guest this week. So, Craig, this is the part of the show where we call it Dealer's Choice. It's where you get to play a song that you want to request.
Well, a song that really made me want to be a singer. I was a writer, but I can never forget and get it out of my head the first time I heard John Conley singing Rose-Colored Glasses. Mm-hmm. It made me want to sing.
Mm-hmm. I love seeing that he still does it on the Opry, and he pulls the glasses out every time.
Every time.
And he gives them to people. It's like, how many pairs of rose-colored glasses does John Conley own?
I don't know. I have 6.
Craig Morgan, our guest this week. Hey, what's going on with you and your boy in Alaska?
Man, we have this business called Jerry Lake, Alaska, where we take people to experience the off-grid living lifestyle for 5 days. They come up to our place and stay up there. We have cabins for them. They have like a 5-course meal every night. It's just a great experience for them to learn about off-grid living, the bush, the extreme harshness. I tell people it's the most brutal and beautiful place where you can experience the gamut of both.
So it's brutal.
It's brutal. It's absolutely brutal.
That's going to be a new T-shirt.
Write that down
you
right now.
You better write that one.
Brutal. Alaska is brutal.
It's beautiful.
And then you could actually do it on a coffee mug, and it'll be brutal.
Yeah. Brewed.
There's several levels here.
Wow. Man.
We do everything in layers.
You guys should be in marketing.
Dude, listen, you walk in here, we don't look like much, but we have it up here.
Y'all are brutal.
Craig Morgan is our guest this week, and looking back at some great songs. You know, I remember when first time I heard "That's What I Love About Sunday," By the way, it's Sunday, not Sundays.
Correct.
A lot of people make that mistake.
I say Sundays most of the time anyway.
But he also spells it like
Even though you know.
Sundea is what he spells it.
D-A-E.
D-A-E,
I
whatever.
love Sundays. Yum. Dude, why do you not have a deal with Dairy Queen or whomever? I mean, what? That's what I love about Sundays.
I feel like you come here and you're just, why are you not writing everything you're saying down?
I'm recording the whole thing.
Okay, good.
Just like y'all. Ain't no hobby.
I love this song. Give us something that we've never heard about this song.
One of the writers, Adam Dorsey, first song he'd ever had recorded, only number one he ever had.
Wow.
Multi-week number one. First time an independent label had a multi-week that many weeks. Again, most played song of the year. He took all the money that he made and he went to seminary school.
Wow.
True story. Yeah.
So now he's a preacher?
Yep.
Because of
that's what I love about Sunday.
Sunday. Greg Morgan hanging out with us. We've already done 15 push-ups and 1 pull-up since he's been here.
That was a combined. I did the first half. Big D did the second half.
That's right. We're helping each other up.
We put the pull-up bar on the floor. Did pull-ups that way.
Do you still do, like, because of all the military background, do you still, like, get up every morning and, like, do PT and all that?
I do. I don't get up every morning to do it, I'll be honest, but when I have an opportunity and location, some places when you get up in the morning, you're like, I probably shouldn't run downtown here.
Yeah, I'm just
not without my gun.
got a run-in place here.
Yeah, I'm going to run in place today. Wait till the gym opens.
It's got a walking pad that travels with me now.
Yeah.
Hey, real quick, talk to us about Operation Finally Home.
Great organization, builds homes, remodels homes for veterans and first responders and their families. The reason I love them so much and the way that they do it, there's other organizations that do that, do a great job. But what Operation Finally Home does is different, is they involve the community, all the contractors, electricians, plumbers. They're all from the local community.
That helps.
The realtors, everything. So what they do is they don't not only provide them with the home, they provide them with a relationship within that community to help hold each other accountable.
That's good.
If you want to get more information, go to operationfinallyhome.org. Greg Morgan taking some time out to join us this week. We appreciate it, man. So when Redneck Yacht Club came out, what was that, 2005? Five?
Yeah.
The summer anthem.
Yeah, it was absolutely.
It still is. Not was, is.
It is one of those songs that just lives, man.
It's crazy. So, prior to that, we had That's What I Love About Sunday, and everyone said, it's the biggest song of your career. You'll never have another one like that. And Redneck Yacht Club came out and was like, holy cow, it happened again. What are we doing?
2 career songs back to back.
Yeah. And that was all after Almost Home. They said, you'll never have another one like that. It just kept happening. It's like, holy cow, man.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jesus.
That's right.
Thank you, Jesus.
Greg Morgan in the studio with us. You're one of the few people that we know that have written a book. Did you have someone help you with that? You had to.
I did. Jim DeFleece, the guy that wrote American Sniper, written a lot of military books with other military personnel.
What's one of the takeaways that you think someone would be surprised if they read God, Family, Country?
That I worked with the agency.
Yeah, the CIA.
Agency.
The CIA.
I wasn't in the CIA. I don't want to mislead anyone. They subcontract and they, without even contracts, you use other people throughout various operations in the world. And
do you know all the other singers who have done this kind of stuff?
Yes, I know everyone that's ever done anything.
He knows all the secrets.
I don't know. I can't even tell you. You really are working with the agency, aren't you?
So there used to be a program. In World War II, there was a program, and you can go to the Spy Museum and you can see this, and I think we're in there now.
That's how we got, what's her name, right?
Actresses,
Julia Child, yeah.
Yeah, various athletes, they would send them over to do stuff, and they were really covers for other things, or they were delivering information.
Right.
Because it was easy for them to come in doing
we're doing
USO or whatever.
Yeah, we're doing a concert.
Yeah.
And you do the concert.
Yeah.
But after the concert, you're...
Or before, or during.
Or sometimes you don't even do anything. You're just the concert that's covering up for someone else.
You're the distraction.
That's exactly right.
Did you ever go into like a park and like make a chalk
dead
drawing?
drop?
A dead drop.
No, but I was the first act to perform at the U.S. Embassy in Iraq when it first opened back up.
Were you a cover for something? Please say yes. Yes!
It's in the book.
Okay.
Get the
Everybody
book.
read the book.
It's called God, Family, Country, and our guest, Craig Morgan. Craig Morgan is joining us. In 2009, he wrote a song called Bonfire. Bubba is, I think, was going to ask, a small bonfire? Is this a big bonfire in your head when you were thinking about this, when you wrote this?
Bigger the better.
Bigger the better.
Bigger the better. I did a little series of concerts called Party in the Pasture with Kevin Wyndham.
Oh,
Supercross racer.
Yeah.
He and I, and they had bonfires around the entire place, like 25,000 people out there and bonfires everywhere.
Yeah,
it was freaking awesome.
Like the classic field party format, like where they would do, like, you see it a lot with like ATV get-togethers and all that kind of stuff. I love that. That is so much fun. That's a piece of America that unless you're in it, you don't know about it.
Yeah, and then if you don't know and you see it, you're like, oh, where have I been?
Where have I been? Craig Morgan with us this week. Hey, I love that you re-enlisted back into the military, and you did it. You did it at the Opry, right?
We did. Yeah,
Yeah,
it was pretty neat because when I left the Army, I left because of my music career, and I just didn't feel like it was kind of fair at the time.
Yeah.
I looking back, I wish I had just stayed. I would have worked it out, and I'd have retired a long time ago from the Army.
You could have done like the Tim Kennedy path because he did a lot of stuff. If you don't know, you can Google him. But he did a lot of stuff while he was in the Army, the whole Hunting Hitler series and all that kind of stuff. You could have done that.
I could have, and probably should have, but I didn't. So it was really neat to be able to bring those two relationships back together on the stage of the Grand Ole Opry, and it's been an absolute blast.
So how now you're doing like whenever you can kind of stuff? It's all like reserve kind of deal?
I'm in the reserve, so in the reserves calls for you to be able to be there 1 weekend a month, 2 weeks a year.
Okay.
But that 1 weekend a month doesn't necessarily have to be on a weekend. It depends on your occupation, your job, what they ask of you. So for me, I went back in the Army band. I'm a warrant officer in the Army band.
Okay.
So my weekend might actually take place on a Monday and a Tuesday. It might actually take place on a Thursday at a football game doing the national anthem or something like that.
Gotcha.
Or it might be speaking at a school
That's like
for recruiting.
cheating. What
really
a great
smart.
workaround.
Really smart.
That
It's
is
awesome. But every job does it. When I was a 13 Fox and I was stationed at Fort Campbell as in the reserves, I would go in and work Monday through Thursday sometimes and not have to be there on the weekend.
Yeah.
Because they didn't need me on the weekend. They needed me
You had
during
to
the
do
week.
that. Craig Morgan, our guest this week. International Harvester, go.
International Harvester, Jeffrey Steele, Shane Miner, they were writing a song. They were talking about tractors, and Jeffrey said, look, man, there's enough songs. There's 12 songs out right now about green tractors and John Deere. Is there another brand? And Shane Miner said, International Harvester.
Yeah.
That's where it came from.
Every time I get behind a tractor,
Me too.
I always go power.
I drive mine down the road sometimes just to watch people flip me off.
Craig Morgan in the studio hanging with us. Hey, man, how important is it to you, blue-collar jobs and trade jobs?
It's extremely important. That's what builds and in my opinion, maintains our country. That's what keeps us. That's what makes America America.
Yeah.
We have a middle class that is our whole nation was designed, built, and established on and for.
Yes.
Those are my people, and that's who I am.
Yeah, and in fact, you even do stuff with like a plumbing.
American Plumber Stories. It has been one of the coolest things. I know it sounds super.
What is American Plumber Stories?
American Plumber Stories is a show on YouTube where we highlight plumbing industry and plumbers in particular. I've been blown away and fascinated by these people. Some of these guys start without high school degrees or nothing, and they own multi-million, some billion-dollar companies, got their own jet planes and stuff.
Yep, that's right, man.
And these are the guys that still go do plumbing today. They own the companies, but they still go out and work with their employees. You know, thousands of employees.
And that's on YouTube right now?
On YouTube, American Plumber Stories.
Craig Morgan in the studio. You can follow him online, Craig Morgan. Do you even know what your social media is?
Yeah, I post stuff on my social.
Oh, you do?
C. Morgan Music, right?
Yeah. And Craig Morgan. You can always tell if it's me because it's misspelled if I did it.
And mispronounced?
It's misspelled.
Talk to us about A Little Bit of Life.
Little Bit of Life. It's a song talking about that. A little bit of everything that makes up our lifestyle in the country world.
Yeah.
Just that simple.
That's it.
With a really funny video. That was not a Evel Knievel outfit. There's a line in A Little Bit of Hound Dog. That was supposed to be an Elvis costume, but because I was on a motorcycle, everybody thought it was Evel Knievel.
Oh, dude, I always thought it was Evel Knievel.
I thought it was Evel Knievel.
No, it was Elvis. Thank you very much.
Craig Morgan, our guest this week on the show. And Craig, we've known each other, well, since you started it.
Since I started
it. And we've heard a lot of stories.
Since I was a little boy.
Craig will come in and go, boys, you're not going to believe it. Look what I did. I was in some crazy country. Look at this. It's a motorcycle upside down. And then I shot an elephant. I didn't even know what's going on. It's alive, though. Here, it's crazy. What's the dumbest thing you've ever done in the world?
The dumbest thing I've ever done in the world? God, there's a list.
Okay, what's the dumbest thing you've done in a foreign country? How about that?
I was in Afghanistan. I was visiting the Special Forces group that was there. I won't divulge in the location. They were going downtown to meet with the local governor. I was still in the reserve, so they asked me if I wanted to go. I said yes. Suited up. They had a bunch of motorcycles that wouldn't run. We got them running. And we decided we were going to take those motorcycles because I'm a motorcycle guy. It made perfect sense. Coming back, jacked up like you can't imagine because you're close. You know, your hand's on your pistol. You're thinking you're going to shoot somebody.
Yeah.
And coming back, I totally trashed the motorcycle and myself. My leg had a show that night.
Is that when you went into the big concrete ditch or something?
Yeah, this open sewage.
Yeah.
It was dry, thank God. There was nothing in it. But yeah, and we're outside the wire, and I hit it so freaking hard, and it slung me up that ditch. And I jumped up, and I looked up at the tower at the Afghan guy going, I'm good.
I'm good.
Fine.
I'm fine.
And he
Thumbs
holds
up.
up a little sign going, 10.
Yeah.
Craig Morgan joining us in the studio for this week's show. So another dealer's choice, a song that you want to request, and why?
One More Day. It's one of those songs I wished I'd written. It's still very emotional for me to hear that song for a lot of reasons, but having lost my son, I just can't help but think of what it would have been like to have one more day.
I think every one of us can relate to this song.
Yeah, it's most human with Diamond Rio on Honky Tonkin. Craig Morgan is joining us on the show, and man, you're out everywhere. If you're not in Alaska or Nashville, you're touring. You're doing something with the troops. Talk to us about your tour this year.
Well, right now we're busy with Blake and the Friends and Heroes tour. When we finish that, we start our own thing. We're just busy, man. I'm trying to stay relevant. I want to be relevant, and if I'm not, I don't want to be here. Mm-hmm. If I'm not writing, singing, producing, recording, delivering music that people don't want to hear, then I want to divert my energy somewhere else.
Well, that's something about you is that you're one of the few artists that we know that you can do pretty much anything. Like you want to go, you could be a professional motorcyclist. You could be.
I'd be the last guy on the list, but
you would make it.
I might qualify.
Well, you qualify.
You would still do it, and it's whatever you've put your mind to. Whether it's what you're doing in Alaska at Jerry Lake, or whatever your project is, you do everything very well.
No, well, we just got to stay busy, man. You got to keep your head occupied, your brain moving, your body moving. I believe that. And like I said, how long have we been talking to each other? Hey, you've asked me all the questions. So if I'm not giving you something else to talk about, you're not going to want to talk to me. And I feel that way about everybody out there. So I just, again, I want to stay relevant. So I work very hard to try to keep people interested. Because sometimes the music, as good as it is, it might not be enough.
You can get all the touring information on his website. It's guess. Got it? It's CraigMorgan.com. You're right.
That's a good guess.
Craig Morgan.
Yes.
Most played. That was the most played song of the year, huh?
Yeah, 5 weeks at #1.
Wow.
Crazy. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to believe looking back.
Do you know who you held out of #1?
No,
like who
I don't.
didn't get a number? You know
do you
they
care?
do.
Do you care?
Yeah, they do. They know. No, I don't care. And I don't mean it in a disrespectful way. I think a lot of times a lot of folks pay way too much attention to that stuff instead of celebrating the victories that they're having.
Yeah. Dude, I always think about people's, it isn't always the #1 that is your biggest song of your career.
That's right.
As time goes on, sometimes a top 10 or a top 15 becomes that song that the crowd connects with the most.
That's a fact. I've got a lot of those, and I thank God for them. So I don't care that Blake Shelton to get a #1 that week.
Craig Morgan has been our guest this week. Dude, thank you.
Thank you.
We love you. He's got a lot of stuff going on. His memoir, God, Family, Country. Check out his tour, CraigMorgan.com. Anything else we need to push for you?
Oh, this new project, American Soundtrack. I'm as proud of it as anything I've ever done.
And that's
so
the
good.
EP that's out right now.
It is.
Yeah, you can get all the information on his website and socials. Just look up Craig Morgan.
With Big D and Bubba.